What up, guys? Mad Viking back 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? Well, today was it. It was the All Elite Wrestling launch event in Jacksonville at the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. It was supposed to be the introduction to the fans of who is currently signed. I'm gonna say right now I'm shocked at a couple people they brought in, because obviously one guy has a very good poker face, and I've been following up on the other guy, and the other guy basically said he was happy where he was at. Hey, cat. And he was going to stay there for the time being, but he was open for challenges. But, well, anyway, you can watch the video if you want on the Being the Elite channel. It was a live stream, but of course everybody already knows Cody and the Bucks are signed. They mentioned today, well, if you watched my news video from last night, I mentioned how Cody was supposed to be the executive vice president of All Elite. Well, apparently so are the Bucks. And I did think that was a little weird when I initially heard that, because it's their venture as well. People act like they're putting money into this, but I don't. They're not putting money into this, but they're definitely the people in control. I mean, everybody seems to have some sort of a position at the company except for Hangman, other than being talent. But of course, Brandi signed. She came out. She introduced that there's going to be a women's division, which brought out the signee of Britt Baker, which was already leaked on the internet. Everybody knows that. We know Hangman signed to the company. We'll tell you now, there was no Kenny Omega, and I don't think anybody with a brain was expecting him to be there. I was looking in the feed, because there was a chat feed along with the video, and people were expecting Kenny Omega to be there, because he announced he was leaving New Japan. He's leaving New Japan at the end of the month, January 31st. He's still under contract. He's still wrestling. So, yeah, there was no Kenny Omega. And I will tell you, there was no Goldberg, and there was no mention of Goldberg. So maybe they rethought that, and maybe they're going Goldberg-less. Because like I said yesterday in my video, I'm like, okay, they're hiring Goldberg. He still has traction. He can still offer something. Interviewing him alone would be worth $1 million on his talking about the WWE. But no. Well, yeah, and I said, too, who are they going to feed to this guy on the roster unless they bring in unsigned, outside talent just to be squashed by Goldberg? But no Goldberg. But Goldberg was even hinting on his social media, whatever, Twitter, whatever, that he was signing to All Elite Wrestling. So that's yet to come. When Page was out, he was doing kind of the same speech Vince gave on that Raw with the McMahon family, how we, the fans, are going to be the booker. There's going to be no agendas. If your favorite wrestler is me, that wrestler will get a push. He won't be pushed to the side for a office favorite, which got a big, big cheer from the crowd. So, say they sign Zack Ryder, Zack Ryder's over like Rover. Zack Ryder's going to be seen. Zack Ryder's going to get pushed. He's not going to be punished for being popular. So that's a good thing. Let me see. They announced May 25th at the Garden Arena Center in Vegas is going to be their Double or Nothing event, which is All In 2. I wasn't going to go back and watch it again. Where I was at had poor volume, but they did announce a second event. Oh, another event is going to be in Jacksonville. I think, which would mean it's going to be at the Jacksonville Stadium. I don't know if I'm going to drive 5 hours to go sit in a football stadium. We'll have to see whenever that's announced. And I'd have to get good tickets. I'm not going to buy tickets to go sit in the nosebleed. So there is an event coming. I didn't get that date, so I can't tell you what that is. Yeah, I think they just mentioned it's going to be in Jacksonville. Anyway, here are the signees. Well, I will say this. Also, there was no Lucha Brothers at the event. So what does that mean? Nothing's been reported. Have they signed with TNA again? Have they signed with AEW? Like I told you yesterday, there was a huge bidding war going on with them between the two companies. I previously reported how they both said, the Lucha Brothers, they wanted to compete in New Japan. So if there's ever a working relationship, well, it depends on where they go. Obviously, they go to the WWE, that's not going to happen. But if there's a working relationship with New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, all that can still happen. But no Lucha Brothers, so there was no last-minute contract signing, and because it was reported they wanted them and they wanted them to be at the launch rally. So let's see. Who have they signed? Who's on the roster so far? All of SCU, as I predicted yesterday. But like I said yesterday, I find it a little funny because SCU had mentioned on like 2 weeks ago on a Ring of Honor TV episode that they had re-signed with the company. And this last week's episode, Christopher Daniels was offered a new 1-year contract with the company on TV. A little strange to do if these guys have left the company. Now, they didn't say they left the company. Like, they did mention on TV the Young Bucks and Cody are gone, and Hangman. So if SCU and Daniels were gone, you'd think it would have been mentioned. So, yeah, and if you don't know who SCU is, that is Christopher Daniels, Kaz, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. Another signee, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MGF. Most people probably saw him for the first time ever on the All In event pay-per-view. He's a big staple with MLW here in Florida. He's a good young upcoming talent, so I think that's a good pickup. They, surprisingly, Joey Janela, he did come out on a crutch. So, you know, his injury is still in full effect, but we know he is secured with AEW. And shockingly, he came out with Penelope Ford. Shockingly, I say, because recently she had a tryout at the Performance Center, and she supposedly impressed. And if she was offered a deal, she obviously turned it down. So Joey Janela and Penelope Ford are all elite. All right, this is a big signee here. Shocked me when I saw it. Paige was out talking about people, challengers of that nature, and out came Neville. Pac, holding his Dragon Gate Championship. And they were setting up a future match between the two of them. So that is really big, because Impact's been after Neville, WWE's been after Neville, but I'm pretty sure they gave up. And Ring of Honor was after Neville. So obviously he got a very nice payday, I'm sure, because he openly said it. This is one of the guys I was talking about in the beginning of this video. He was happy with Dragon Gate. He wouldn't mind wrestling other places, but he has called Dragon Gate his home. So I was pretty shocked he was signed, and he's with AEW. And this one right here, this is the guy that I said has a very good poker face, because this guy, he fooled me, because I saw his tweet, how he wasn't through with New Japan, how he wanted to wrestle in the heavyweight division for the heavyweight IWGP title. And that man, of course, is Chris Jericho. He is signed to All Elite Wrestling. But unless his total tweet was a total BS, he said he's not done with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they must have some sort of a working agreement, or it was all, I don't know, I guess we're going to find out it was all BS. I don't know. So they signed, biggest signees, obviously, are Pac and Chris Jericho to All Elite Wrestling. Now, right now, that's a pretty decent roster, but yes, they still have to pick people up. Is Brandy going to wrestle? I don't know. Probably, because when she broke her shoulder, she still said she had ambitions to wrestle. And right now, all they got is Brandy and Britt Baker. But there's a lot of, I'm sure, future signees to come. But and of course, it ended with Jericho cutting a nice promo, and it ended in a firework display from the stadium. So go watch the video. It's very interesting. There's some very good production to it. I mean, it wasn't like some guy, it wasn't the Young Bucks standing on the back of a pickup truck telling everybody in the parking lot, you know, this is it, this is what we're doing. So, you know, I think this is a good start. I mean, who's ever done anything like this on this sort of a level? And the marks for the WWE in that chat on that YouTube, you can see it towards the end. They're like, oh, big deal. Cody and the Young Bucks filled an arena with 11,000 plus. The WWE does that twice a week. The WWE has been running in smaller venues for quite a few years now. They haven't sold out Madison Square Garden since 2002. Ring of Honor did it just recently, and the WWE is kind of shocked and impressed by it. Yeah, the WWE is still the WWE, but the WWE is not producing actual ticket sales like they used to be. They're actually quite expensive. But yeah, there are still quite a lot of dollars. They were calling this TNA 2.0. People were pointing out Impact is still around, jerk off. But anyways, that's it for now, guys. This was the official day for the All Elite launch event in Jacksonville. Like I said, Pac and Jericho, that's pretty big. It would have been a lot bigger if Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix came walking out too. But like I said yesterday in my news video, if you haven't seen it, please go and see it. Support me. Leave a like. Like I said yesterday, they have complicated contracts. I mean, I announced a couple months back that they're supposedly signing new deals with Impact. And that was right after Slammiversary. And they're still under contract with MLW till the end of 2019. I know, obviously, they have a working agreement because MLW lets them work other places. And they must have a similar deal with Lucha. But Lucha, they make sure they lock their talent down. If they're there till 2019, Lucha is going to make sure they're there until the end of 2019. But like I said, that's it for now, guys. That was the official launch. That's the roster as now. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of Neville, Pac, and Jericho being signed. Jericho must be getting a lot of money. I will say that. I am particularly shocked Jericho's signed because now that's a big FU to the WWE. I always said his last run when he was doing that Kevin Owens stuff, that Friendship of Festival thing, the toy pack, everybody's like, oh, they put the belts on the wrong people. No, they didn't. Jericho was supposed to be given another World Heavyweight Championship title run. But instead they went with Owens, and Jericho got the United States strap. And I said Jericho probably didn't mind because it made him a Grand Slam champion. But he kept signing all those weeks and months back then, extending his contract because he was promised that title run. So in my eyes, I think it probably pissed them off a little bit. That, and they haven't offered him to come back since then. So, like I said, Jericho is probably getting a nice $1 million, $2 million a year contract to be with All Elite Wrestling. So anyway, now this is officially it, guys. I've rambled. I said my piece. Tell me what you think. Do you like their picks so far? Some of them aren't really shocking. I mean, I knew Christopher Daniels was going. But tell me what you think. Hit like, subscribe, the notification button, pound it so you don't miss any future content. I have an NXT event coming up in 2 days. I've never been to this location, so that's probably going to be my next video. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Mad Viking out. Catch you guys next time.